Hey everybody, welcome back to the wood shop today. I'm Bryan.
And I'm Cecelia. Today we're going to make a simple and beautiful wall shelf out of this 1x6 pine board.
We're going to be using a miter saw, table saw, jigsaw, and if we want to do some round over edges on this, we might throw a router in there.
Stick around, we're going to have a great time. We know that we want our shelf to be 2 feet wide, so the first thing we're going to do is measure and mark our board, then we'll take it over to the miter saw to give it a cut. Now this is project wood from our big box hardware store. You could always do this with some rough lumber and just cut it down. This just makes it quicker and a little easier for us.
Alright, now we've got 2 of these boards cut at 24 inches. This one will be the top of the shelf, and this one will sit against the wall. They will meet together at 90 degrees. Now we're going to join this with a rabbet joint. These boards are 3/4 of an inch thick, so the rabbet joint will go halfway, 3/8 of an inch. We'll glue it together, clamp it, let it sit and dry for a while, then we'll work on the corbels. Alright, we've got the height of our table saw blade set at 3/8 of an inch, which gets us halfway through this top shelf board. Now we have a sacrificial fence set up here because we have to start with a 0 clearance to the blade. That way you don't have your blade tearing up your original table saw fence. You don't want that at all. Now it's going to take probably 5, maybe even 6 hole passes, since the blade kerf is 1/8 of an inch, to get the 3/4 inches we need to get that backer board to sit up in here just right. Okay, now that that first cut is done, I went ahead and removed the sacrificial fence since now I won't risk getting the blade into it. I'll move the fence 1/8 of an inch at a time until I get 3/4 of an inch right here. Now normally you could do this with a dado blade, but I don't have a dado blade at this time, so we're going to have to keep passing this over until we get our full width. Now, I don't know if you can see this or not, but when you make a rabbet joint this way, it tends to leave some unevenness here. So what you can do is start your saw and run this back and forth this way and try to clean that up. I'm going to do that right now. Okay, now that our rabbet joint is cut for the 2 halves of our shelf to join together, I'm going to cut some dados. I've measured in 1 inch from each side. Now these dados will be the same, 3/4 of an inch wide. I'll have to cut them in both boards so our corbels can fit in there.
Now that we've cut our dado joints, we're going to measure the width for our corbels for our shelf. Looks like we're at 5 3/16. We finally have all the pieces cut for our shelf. We've dry fit everything together. It looks pretty snug. It finally looks like a shelf.
The next step, we're going to take a router and a roundover bit and lay a round edge around the top and the back.
Now that we've rounded out the edges of all of our boards, we're going to sand these pieces down so we can put the shelf together. Now we did start with project wood, so it's already pretty smooth. We have a pretty good base. We're going to use some 220 grit, but if we would have had rough lumber, we would have started with 120 and stepped up. But let's go ahead and get this knocked out and we'll put our shelf together. As you can see, all the pieces of our shelf are now sanded and ready to be assembled.
Now with this project, there's no nails or screws, just joints and glue. Alright, we've given the glue time to dry. Now it's time to remove these clamps.
The last step in our project is to give this a coat of stain, and we'll be ready to hang. We've completed the newest addition to the wood shop. Our rustic wall shelf is finally complete. We've let our gel stain dry. We did use a gel stain as the finish for this shelf. We really love the way that it turned out. It gives it a nice rustic feel.
We installed keyhole brackets on the back of it to hang it. They're on 16-inch center so we can get it in studs.
We really hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you want to see more projects just like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We're also over on Facebook at Wood Songs by Russell. Thanks again for joining us. Happy woodworking!